Judicial Watch is suing Fani Willis and Fulton County, and for good reason. It's Thursday, March 14th, 2024. I'm Stuart Allister. From Judicial Watch sues Fani Willis for communications with Special Counsel Jack Smith, Pelosi January 6th committee. Now, some of you may be thinking, what does that matter? Because that's what I was thinking. Big deal. Let's say that she was communicating with Jack Smith or Pelosi about the January 6th committee and all of their findings. And, well, the problem with that is it smells of political retribution. You see, if all you're looking for is evidence of wrongdoing, particularly with regard to Georgia, all of your evidence should be right there. Why do you have to talk to Nancy Pelosi, a hardcore partisan? Because perhaps this persecution is really persecution and not prosecution. And you're persecuting him because he's Donald Trump, which means this is purely political and it has nothing to do with the law. All right. Before we go any further, why don't you wreck that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and press that notification bell so you never miss an episode. I was wondering the same thing. Judicial Watch announced today it filed a Georgia Open Records Act lawsuit against District Attorney Fani Willis in Fulton County, Georgia, for records of any communications Willis and the county had with Special Counsel Jack Smith and the House January 6th committee. The lawsuit was filed in the Superior Court of Fulton County, Georgia, after Willis and the county denied having any records responsive to the August 2023 Georgia Open Records Act request for, quote, all documents and communications sent to, received from, or related to Special Counsel Jack Smith or any employees in his office. All documents and communications sent to or received from the United States House January 6th committee or any of its employees. Judicial Watch states in the lawsuit that Willis's and the county's representation about not having records responsive to the request is likely false. Judicial Watch refers to a December 5th, 2023 letter from House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan to Willis that cites a December 2021 letter from Willis to then House January 6th Committee Chairman Benny Thompson. In that letter, Willis requested assistance from the committee and offered to travel to D.C., Jordan writes. Specifically, this is Jordan, you asked Representative Thompson for access to records, including but not limited to recordings and transcripts of witness interviews and depositions, electronic and print records of communications, and records of travel. You even offered that you and your staff were eager to travel to Washington, D.C. to meet with investigators in person and to receive these records anytime between January 31st, 2022 and February 25th, 2022. Why do you need to go to the January 6th committee? Why do you need that? I'm just asking, because the wrongdoing was done by Donald Trump in Georgia. Those were the indictments. The wrongdoing, the alleged wrongdoing, was done in Fulton County. Why do you need Thompson? See, by the way, this is the reason taking a majority is always good, because none of this would be happening. None of this would be happening. Jim Jordan wouldn't have I guess technically you can still send out letters, but it could be, nobody will pay attention because you're not in the majority. Judicial Watch argues in its complaint, Willis's letter to former Chairman Thompson is plainly responsive to the request, yet it was neither produced to plaintiff in response to the request nor claimed to be subject to exemptions from production under the Open Records Act. It's like you didn't even say that it was, privileged or whatever. You just said you didn't have any records. Is that so? Judicial Watch also cites recent news reports and other records which indicate that representatives of Willis's office traveled to Washington, D.C. and met with January 6th Select Committee staffers in April, May, and November of 2022, as Willis proposed in her December 17th, 2021 letter. Judicial Watch states that a January 2024 political report titled January 6th Committee helped guide days of Georgia Trump probe, and a January 2024 letter from the House Judiciary Committee to Fulton County Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade are examples that such meetings plainly had to be coordinated and likely generated communications, if not other records, about or memorializing these meetings. You know what I think is happening? I think that Fani Willis is having delusions of grandeur. She's having, shades of Hillary. It's almost as if she believes she can do whatever Hillary could do. But we all know, no, only Hillary is exempt from her lawlessness. Look, Hillary Clinton can walk into an orphanage with a machete, start chopping up those poor little orphans, and start selling those body parts on the internet. She would be handing out receipts, and you can have it all on camera. And upon getting called and having those receipts under subpoena from the Senate and the Congress, she could burn it on film, smash her phones, and say, I don't know what you're talking about. Guess what the FBI would say? I guess there's nothing we could do. That's pretty much what happened. See, Fani Willis believes somehow, some way that she has shades of Hillary, that since she's a strong, independent black woman, don't need no man, that she's afforded Hillaryism. Fani, honey, you ain't Hillary. Okay, you're not getting Hillary treatment. See, Hillary actually runs the machine you're running on. See, there's a big difference. And so all of these communications point to one thing. It's not lawlessness that they're after Trump's people. It's political. That's all that's happening, which we all know. Any such records would be responsive to Judicial Watch's request, the lawsuit states. Fani Willis and Fulton County seem to have provided false information about having no records of communications with Jack Smith and the Pelosi January 6th committee. On January 30th, 2024, Judicial Watch announced it filed a lawsuit against Fulton County for records regarding the hiring of Wade as a special prosecutor by Willis. Wade was hired to pursue unprecedented criminal investigations and prosecutions against former President Trump and others over the 2020 election disputes. If this is all political, then there are guarantees you don't get to do that. It means that you are abusing your power as a DA. it means that you are misusing federal funds. I think this is the reason they're doing this document request. So I'm telling you, Fani Willis, there's only so far you can run. There's only so many things you can deny. At some point, it's almost like, Bonnie and Clyde. You know what I mean? You've done so much dirt to so many different people. It's only a matter of time. I'm telling you, Fani thinks that she's Hillary, and she needs to go to Hillary and tell Hillary, hey, Hillary, can you please let me run the machine for a day? I would advise against that because, Bernie Sanders did the same thing. Yeah. You don't hear much from Bernie Sanders anymore, do you? All right, that's it for now. Hey, if you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please, baby, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.